Alright, so I wanted to make this quick video to basically explain how it's quote-unquote possible to run MvC Collection Steam version at 120 FPS. And the reason why I say quote-unquote 120 is because the way I'm doing this is I'm utilizing the frame generation technology that is still fairly new in the market. It's only been out for a few years. NVIDIA and AMD. So the reason why I was able to stumble upon this accidentally is because last night I was going through the setups that I wanted to use for Showdown, and I was having a lot of issues with micro stuttering. So after doing some digging and all this crap, whatever, turns out it was a monitor that I had connected to one of my setups that was causing the issue, because it's like an old monitor, and I truly believe that it had something to do with the input, it being DVI instead of like HDMI or DVI. Anyway, I unplugged it, it fixed the problem. I don't have any micro stutter. You can look at the schematic or the metrics at the bottom of the screen. It's 0, right? It holds 0. Good. But I also noticed that, because most of the time when I play Marvel at home, I play on my desktop, and I'm running an AMD Radeon 7900 XTX, and it does have the FSR, that's the name of the technology for frame generation. And I noticed it just ran smoother. Okay, like what the hell, you know, that's pretty good, right? I mean, you can see it right now. Right now, you look at the metrics, it's clocking it at 120. But if you look at the top right, I'm running the Steam metrics, and it's still clocking it at 60 FPS. And I know the Steam version is accurate because I tried other games, and everything's accurate. So I know Steam's not lying to me. So pretty much, I figured this out on accident. I started taking a hard look at the menu, the options in my AMD program, and I noticed that frame generation, the FSR, was turned on. I was like, okay, well, I didn't know that. That, I guess that explains everything. Now, mind you, we've been playing Marvel at 60 FPS since, you know, Dreamcast, right? So it runs fine, 60, like true 60 FPS. No issues. That's the golden standard to run this game for tournaments, right? But I don't know how to explain it. Like, pretty much, this technology, it generates synthetic FPS, meaning it does give you FPS and it allows your game to run and look smoother, but you're not really truly running at that actual FPS. I know it's like kind of confusing, whatever, but what I'm showing you right now is pretty much proof of that. Like, if you look at the, again, FPS, it's still running at 60, but my AMD program is clocking it at 120 because I have the feature turned on right now. So, and the caveat to this is that it's supposed to increase input lag. Well, guess what? Like, I can't really tell. I've been playing like this since I got this system last year. Like, this setup, no issues, right? It runs great. So here's the deal. This is pretty much uncharted water. Like, I don't think a lot of people know about this, and if they do, they're not really saying anything about it. So I wanted to get this out there. Like, if no one's gonna do it, then, you know, I might as well just put that out there. It's not gonna make much of a difference. It doesn't really give an advantage towards the player. The game just looks and feels better. And whatever makes the Marvel play experience better, I'm all for it, right? So here's the key thing to note. I was talking to Tone about this, and he has a 5070 FE, and NVIDIA uses something called DLSS. That's their version of, well, that's pretty much their version of frame generation technology. So he went ahead and he went into his, you know, metrics, tried to set everything up, but he couldn't get it past 60 FPS. So I'm thinking the video just pretty much said, fuck Marvel, like, or fuck old games. I don't give a shit about it, right? Like, okay, yeah, whatever. Y'all fucking deal with y'all little shit. Not a big deal, right? But AMD may possibly throw us a bone, or had a deal with Capcom, I don't know what, right? To where their frame generation works on their games, even their older games. So I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt, however you want to look at it. So this beckons the question, is it possible to unlock higher FPS on this game through the game files? Is there a way to mod that? I don't know anything about coding. I'm too lazy to try to figure any of that out. So this is where my research stops, you know, just kind of messing with this and kind of stumbling upon it on accident. I know it's possible. You know, there are gaming communities out there that actually take the time to make third-party FPS unlockers. You know, for example, a game I play, Ion, there's something called Shugo Console, and that unlocks the game from the 60 FPS cap to whatever your machine can output. Crazy. You can hit like 300, 400, whatever, right? FPS. Not that it matters, right? You know, human eye can't see that. Anyway, I think it might be possible, but only for the Steam users. Unfortunately, this doesn't apply to console players or consoles, so yeah, you guys are, I guess, shit out of luck. But once again, I don't think this really makes or breaks the game. It just kind of gives it another, I guess, way to play it. I don't know how to really put that, but I think this is something definitely to look into. Yeah, I just want to get your guys' thoughts on it. If anyone has any input, or maybe just some discoveries or some loophole or whatever, you know, share with the class.